In his third year of college, Chris met Emma, who had just started her first year. As colleagues and from the same hometown, they had a great time talking. They left a very good impression on each other. They shared their thoughts and feelings. After that, neither of them crossed the line from friends to something more. They continued to interact as senior and junior classmates. In 2012, as graduation approached, Chris confessed his feelings to Emma. Emma happily accepted. They began officially dating. In 2013, during the Spring Festival, after working for over 6 months, Chris joyfully introduced Emma to his family. "Dad, Auntie, this is my girlfriend, Emma. Emma is a junior from my school. We've known each other for 2 years now, and we've been together for more than 6 months." This pretty, well-mannered girl made Chris's family very happy. But from the first moment she saw Emma, Chris's aunt felt something was off. How could this girl look so much like Chris's mother? His aunt quietly shared this with Chris's dad. Chris's dad also noticed that the girl seemed somewhat familiar. She looked very much like his late wife. 23 years ago, Chris's mother gave birth to a daughter. However, she tragically died from severe blood loss. For family reasons, the family entrusted the newborn daughter to another family to raise. Later, when they tried to reconnect, they couldn't find that family anymore. However, they didn't bring this up to Emma right then. After Emma went home, they shared their doubts with Chris. Chris was stunned. Could it be possible? Could there really be such a coincidence in the world? Because of this, Chris couldn't sleep for several nights in a row. Over the phone, he cautiously asked Emma about her background. Emma said she had indeed been adopted. From childhood until now, her adoptive parents had treated her like their own daughter. Chris grew even more anxious. What if Emma really was his biological sister? What would he do then? This became an emotional burden for Chris. Whenever he saw Emma, there was always an unresolved knot in his heart. During their relationship after that, the sensitive Emma noticed changes in Chris. After some time, Chris, desperate for answers, decided to be honest. He shared his family's suspicions with Emma. Emma was shocked after hearing this. She couldn't believe it could be true. Both families decided to do a DNA test to uncover the truth. On February 25th, the DNA test results came out. Chris and Emma were confirmed to be biologically related. When the report came out, Chris learned the result immediately. He found it hard to accept. After all, they were deeply in love. Emma, now in her 3rd year, also learned the result. She almost fainted upon hearing it. With support from both families, she slowly came to terms with this harsh reality. Although they were reluctant to let go, both of them were rational. They knew that now the truth was out. They couldn't be together. They had no choice but to part ways and accept each other as biological brother and sister. Over a month passed, and they gradually came to terms with it. During this time, Emma occasionally visited Chris's family home to see her biological father and brother, and to help with household chores. Though she lost a romantic relationship, gaining a family connection was also a positive outcome. Emma comforted herself by saying, "If I hadn't met Chris, I might never have uncovered my real background. And I would never have reconnected with my father. Perhaps this was all meant to be." Chris said, "From now on, I will look out for her as her brother, and help Emma, so she can complete her studies smoothly, providing her with support and encouragement." If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. This is a story that happened in our village. 24-year-old Jack went on a business trip. He was highly appreciated by the supervisor of an out-of-town factory. Under the supervisor's introduction, he met a 22-year-old woman named Emma. The two had a pleasant conversation. They left a very good impression on each other. They exchanged contact information. As their communication increased, their feelings for each other gradually grew. Soon, they confirmed their romantic relationship. That summer, Jack brought Emma home. he introduced Emma to his mother. Seeing the pretty and well-mannered Emma, Jack's mother was very happy. She tacitly accepted her as her future daughter-in-law. Emma lost her mother shortly after birth. Jack's mother's care and concern made her feel incredibly warm. Soon after, the two registered and formalized their marriage. They also held a small wedding ceremony. After marriage, the couple opened a clothing shop at the entrance of the village. They were deeply in love and made others envious. A year later, Emma gave birth to a boy. But unfortunately, the boy was diagnosed with poor brain development. He had intellectual disabilities. At this time, gossip began to circulate in the village, and the rumors became more exaggerated. People said they were half-siblings from different mothers. That's why they gave birth to a child with disabilities. They remained calm and stayed deeply in love. When Jack's mother heard the rumor, she was deeply unsettled. More than 20 years ago, her husband had gone on a business trip and had an affair. When the affair was discovered, she heard the woman was expelled from the household by her husband. The woman later remarried in a distant place. Could Emma be her husband's illegitimate daughter? Her husband had passed away many years ago, so there was no way to confirm this secret. Jack's mother suggested to Jack that he and Emma should get a test done. Jack and Emma refused. They met, fell in love, and supported each other, needing no such test. Since then, Jack and Emma's relationship remained harmonious. Jack cherished Emma dearly. Years went by, and their clothing shop still stood. They continued to stay together through life's ups and downs, patiently caring for their intellectually disabled son. In the end, they hoped that all of this was just a rumor. Stay moral and upright. Keep the ethical bottom line. The irresponsibility of one generation can lead to the tragedy of the next. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Tom was born into an ordinary family. He had an older sister. In middle school, his mother left home due to a gambling addiction. His father worked away from home. Tom was raised by his grandparents. He was very mature and developed an independent and resilient personality early on. After finally graduating from college, his father sadly passed away from cancer, perhaps due to a lack of parental love growing up. Tom tended to date older women. 35-year-old Linda was running 5 businesses, and she hired Tom for various odd jobs. Noticing his sharpness and capability, Linda took Tom on as an apprentice, teaching him skills, providing food, lodging, and a salary. This was Tom's first job, and he devoted himself to it wholeheartedly. Linda greatly appreciated his work, taking him along on each job. Linda was not only his mentor, but also a wise friend in his life. Upon learning about his past, she felt even more compassionate. She often reminded Tom, "No one stays in hardship forever. If you work hard, you can change your situation." Tom was very grateful for her kindness. Seeing that Tom was working hard in a big city and had no girlfriend, Linda often invited him over for meals. This is how Tom met Linda's wife, Anne. 34-year-old Anne was warm and kind-hearted and welcomed her husband's apprentice warmly. She always had a smile on her face. Tom had a sweet demeanor, and his frequent calls of Mrs. Anne delighted her. The affection warmed her heart. After a few visits, the two became familiar. Linda had told his wife about Tom's background, and Anne also sympathized with him. She often invited him over for meals. Their 2 children were living in the countryside, staying with their grandmother and attending school there. With a spare room in the house, they offered Tom to move in with them, making it easier to look after him. Though technically Tom was her apprentice, the two weren't very far apart in age, and they looked like friends when together. As they spent more time together, Tom developed feelings for Anne, who was gentle and caring, and also grew fond of the young and handsome Tom. In April 2013, Linda had to attend a 10-day seminar out of town. While Linda was away, Anne, unfamiliar with using the computer, asked Tom, who was staying in the adjacent room, called him into her room to help her get online. Tom created an account for Anne and guided her through using the internet step by step. During this time, an unexpected attraction developed, and they eventually crossed moral boundaries. They engaged in an intimate relationship. Afterward, they both silently accepted this newfound closeness. In the days that followed, they took every opportunity to be together. Places like the store's restroom, the kitchen, and even their rooms became witnesses to their meetings. Secrets cannot stay hidden forever. Eventually, the truth came to light. Though Tom and Anne tried to hide their affair, another employee at the store noticed everything clearly. One evening in June 2013, the employee discreetly informed Linda about the suspicious activities with undeniable evidence. Linda was skeptical at first, but he began to feel suspicious. Back at home, he quietly observed his wife and Tom. And within a few days, he caught Tom making a small mistake at work and decided to fire him. After firing Tom, Anne pleaded on Tom's behalf and criticized her husband for dismissing such a competent assistant without consulting her. Linda became furious, accusing Anne of having an affair with Tom. Anne vehemently denied the accusation. Linda, consumed with anger, struck Anne and demanded a divorce. Seeing her husband's resolute stance, Anne, who always feared scandal, realized the severity of the situation. She quickly knelt before her husband, confessing her moment of weakness with Tom and how she had succumbed to Tom's advances. Multiple times, revealing everything to her husband, she begged for forgiveness, promising to cut off all ties with Tom. After considering their challenging journey together and their young children at home, Linda decided to forgive his wife after careful thought. Tom had to leave, but he didn't stop trying to contact Anne. However, Anne ignored him completely. In August 2013, while Anne was watching TV in the living room, she received a message from Tom saying, "If you don't reply tonight, or if you don't see me again, I'll tell your family about our affair if you don't reply tonight, or I'll post it online." Anne was terrified and quickly responded, "I've made peace with my husband. Please don't contact me anymore." Shortly after, Tom replied with anger, "You think you can just use me and throw me away? No way. You must keep seeing me. Otherwise, I'll make life difficult for you and your husband." He then added more abusive and unkind words directed at Anne. Shaken, Anne confided in her husband, Linda. Linda decided to confront Tom. Using his wife's phone, he arranged to meet Tom the next day. On the day of the meeting, Tom arrived within 5 meters of the arranged spot near their store, when Linda, hiding nearby, attacked him with a kitchen knife, injuring Tom's left arm and both shoulders. Tom was rushed to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with minor injuries. Afterward, Linda voluntarily reported himself to the police. The court found that Linda's actions constituted intentional injury. Due to his voluntary surrender, the court showed leniency. Linda also actively compensated Tom for his injuries and received forgiveness, showing remorse. The court sentenced Linda to 1 year in prison, suspended for 2 years. Linda had given Tom his trust, but he brought trouble into their home. Anne's betrayal of her marriage vows led to a cascade of consequences. Value your marriage. Hold on to your morals. Only then can you have a happy life. Let this be a lesson. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.